2 more. And release. And we take just one more time. Stretch up. Now just bend your knee a fraction and hold it there. Keep flexing the ankle. Keep your hands where they are. And start turning your leg in and out. So it's almost like you're going to clean the ceiling with the sole of your foot. So internal, external rotation is coming from the hip. Try to keep head and shoulders as easy as possible and use your hands to help you if you need. Last one. Bring your leg back to the center. Do one final stretch, 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 stretch. And then bend your knee. And once again, just hug your knee in towards you. Just draw some circles with your ankles. And then switch, circle the other way. Bring your leg back to the center. And then stretch that leg all the way out long. Stay there for a moment. Just let your legs flop, let them relax. Put your hands beside you on the floor. And close your eyes just for a moment and observe how the right side of your body feels after that little hamstring release. And blink your eyes open. We're going to do the other side. So bring your left knee in towards your chest. And again, you can have the right leg straight or you can bend it. Figure out what feels good for you this morning. Hands behind the leg, flexing your foot. And we go stretch. And release. And again, stretch. And release. 3 more times. And guys, remember that you don't have to fully straighten the leg. If your leg only goes partway up and you're still feeling it, then that's the perfect position for your body. So don't force. One more time, stretch. Now do a tiny bend with the knee. Keep flexing the foot. Use your hands and start doing that internal, external rotation of the hip. So with the hip twisting, rotating, there's going to be a subsequent movement at the knee. You're going to see the knee going in and out, and there's going to be that movement of your foot. But make sure that it's coming from the hip socket, not anywhere else. Taking 2 more. Come to the center. Do one final stretch up. And release. Hug your knee in, and then just twirl your ankles. Circle it around. Change and go the other way, little circles. And then stretch that left leg out. Just let your legs settle. Put your hands beside you. Close your eyes. And observe the left side of your body now. How does it feel? Blinking eyes open. Bend your knees, put your feet flat to the ground. Have your knees and feet slightly separated. Arms down, you can have palms down, palms up. But we're going up into our pelvic curl. Little tilt of the hips. Rolling up. Getting that lovely squeeze from the base of your pelvis. Pause there for a moment. And then start to ripple down through your spine. And be very conscious and deliberate about placing yourself to the ground, so there's no rushing through the movement. And again, tilting hips. Rolling up. Little squeeze at the top. And then get that opening at the front of the hips. Ripple down through spine. Think of softening along the front of your body as you come all the way down to the floor. We're going to do 2 more. Take your time. Find your own rhythm. This is our last one. Tilting hips. Rolling up. A little bit of a squeeze with the gluteals. And then start to work your way down through your spine. Imprint and release right here. So from here, place your hands just over your pelvic bones. Connect core. Bringing your right leg up to tabletop. Hold it here. Flex your top foot and now stretch your leg halfway up towards the sky. Do you still have stability through your pelvis and lumbar spine? Start lowering your right leg towards the floor. Stop if your lower back arches. Don't let your foot rest, hover. And then lift your leg up again. Do you still have stability? And again, lowering your leg. Take it just as far as you can manage. And then bring that leg back up. We're going to do 3 more. Lower. And lift. So this is the hip disassociation that I often talk about. And we want to be able to get this connection across our pelvis and lumbar spine while we move our leg independently. Bring your leg up this time, hold it here, and then bend your knee so you can cross your ankle over the left knee. Now, connect abdominals, and on your next breath, pick up your left leg so that you're coming into a gluteal stretch, and then lower the left foot back down. Lift your leg up. So, you're probably feeling that there's quite a bit of work in the hip flexors and the abdominals, which is correct, and then lower the foot down. Let's do 3 more. So you are working to bring yourself up here, and then at the top you find a stretch, and then lower the leg down. 2 more. And release. We're going to do 1 more time, and this time stay here. Hold it. Wrap your hands behind your thigh, and then rest your body down. So you should now be in a gluteal stretch, and because your arms are holding your leg, you shouldn't feel like you're having to work your abdominals or hips too much right now. If you want to increase this a little bit, you can rock gently from side to side, which is going to move the stretch a little bit deeper to the hip socket itself. Because remember, we've got quite a few tiny muscles around the hip joint, and then we have quite a lot of fascia around the hips. Last one. And then just say to yourself, take 1 more breath and maybe pull a little bit deeper for yourself. Let go and place that foot all the way down, but keep your right ankle crossed. Put your hands on the floor, take them a little bit wider than your mat. Start to roll your knee, your right knee to the right, and look over the left shoulder. Now don't force it. Stop if you feel any pulling in your lower back. Chest open, and then exhale, come back to the center using the obliques. Now roll your legs to the left. Turn to look over the right shoulder. Don't force it. If your foot isn't touching the floor, it doesn't matter. And exhale, draw back to the center. Taking your knee to the right, look to the left, heart is open. And draw to the center, breathe out. Rolling legs to the left, look to the right. Come back to the center, hold it. Hug that right knee into your chest. Bring towards your knees, so you're rounding yourself into a tight little ball shape with your spine. And then head down, foot down, and stay here for a moment. So knees are bent, feet hip distance apart, arms down. We're going to do one pelvic curl. Rolling hips up, getting that lovely lift from the base of the pelvis. And I want you to stay here for 3 breaths. And it's just an opportunity to notice if there's any difference on your body now between the right and the left. Now that we did that release work, has there been any impact for you? Start to roll down your spine and settle at the bottom. Take hands, cup your hip bones, pelvic bones, bringing your left leg up this time, flexing your foot and stretch your leg halfway up towards the sky. Find stability before you move. Start hinging down. How far can you take the left leg, no resting, and then bring the leg back up again. Hinging down, disassociating your leg movement from this pelvic lumbar girdle. 3 more. Keeping that stability. Make sure that you're breathing, by the way, because if you stop breathing, it essentially means that you're bracing as opposed to connecting to your center and your core. Bringing your leg up, hold it there, and then cross your left ankle over the right knee and let your knee settle out. So, when you're ready, picking up the right foot so that you draw your left leg up, get that gluteal stretch on the left, and then lower your foot all the way down. And again, bringing your leg up. Releasing back down. 3 more times, working the hip flexors, loading that deep abdominal muscle called the transverse abdominis. So the TA is engaging here. 2 more. And 1 more time. Stay here. Wrap your hands behind the thigh and let yourself settle into your gluteal stretch. Decide if you want to do that little rocking action. Quite nice to get a bit deeper into the hip. And then center yourself, take 1 more breath in and out. See if you can maybe pull yourself a little bit deep into that stretch. And then releasing that foot all the way down. Keep your left ankle crossed on the knee. Take your hands into a lower V. Roll your knee to the left and look to the right. Decide how far you can go on the side. And then exhale. Remember, the obliques have to pull you back to the center. Now roll your legs to the right. Turn to look towards the left. Find your perfect twist. And then breathe out. Back to center. 1 more time. Over to the left, look to the right. Exhale. Last time, rolling to the right, looking to the left. Come back to the center and pause. Hug that knee in towards you. Tuck your chin in. Draw your forehead tight towards your knee. Lower head and shoulders and placing your foot down. So once again, knees bent, separate them slightly, arms down, pelvic curl. Rolling up through your spine. Getting that little squeeze into the gluteals, and we stay here for 3 breaths. What's happening with that left side of your body? Is there any kind of shift? Is there balance between your two sides at the moment? And on your next breath, start to ripple down through your spine. Input and release. Both hands come up towards the sky. Turn your palms to face each other. Inhale, open arms wide. Don't let the wrist hover. Exhale, bringing both hands up, and we connect each fingertip to its partner. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more time, getting that opening across your chest, across the front arm line. Bring your hands all the way up, and now pause here for a moment. Bring the palms of your hands to touch each other. Elbows are nice and straight. Start sliding your right hand up towards the ceiling, and then bring that hand down, and the left hand slides up. So because you're keeping your elbows straight, it means that your shoulder is going to have to lift off the mat as you do this movement. And there's going to be a rolling action of your rib cage. And maybe notice how your lungs are almost rolling from side to side. So there's a little bit of an internal massage happening here. And then notice how your spine is rotating here as well. Let's just take a few more. No rushing it. And then come back to the center. And once again, open your arms wide, breathe in. Exhale, come up, connecting tips of fingers. Inhale. And lifting arms up. We're going to do two more. And just taking the opportunity to feel the width across your back after you did that rolling exercise of the spine, which actually, by the way, I learned in a Feldenkrais session that I did. Wonderful way to release the upper back. And we're going to take the last one, breathing in. Exhale. Interlock fingers. Hands go underneath your head for support. Settle down for a moment, hovering the elbows. Nod your chin, and on your breath out, come up into your first chest lift of today's class. Pause for a moment, and then releasing down with control. On your breath, slide your ribs towards your hips. And then find length and space as you come down. 3 more. And release. 2 more. Make sure that you're not pulling on your head, by the way. Make sure that you're in a range of movement that feels good for your back and no pulling forward on the head. Now stay here. I want you to anchor your right foot and just see if you can let the left knee open to the side, but you're not going to let your pelvis shift. And then bring your left leg back up and stand on your 2 feet. Now opening, right knee to the side. Try to keep your pelvis still. And come back to the center. 1 more time on each side. Can you feel how this is switching on the abdominals a little bit more? And we're not even actually doing chest lift movement here. 1 more time. And lift up, hold it. And then releasing head and shoulders all the way down. And then press your elbows back. Just let your ribs pop up if they want to. You don't have to force yourself into any particular position. And then release. You're going to roll onto your left side, create a little pillow with that underneath arm, having both knees just a little bit bent. And then light with the fingertips to the ground. Opening the top knee, finding stability so that you're really working into those deep gluteals. So this is called the clam. So it's like you're opening and closing a clam shell. Keep reaching through the crown of your head. Taking 2 more. One more. And now, as you lift that knee, press both feet up. So you're increasing the range here. And then your feet come down as your knee comes down. Open the top knee, pressing the feet up. And it's important to keep the underneath oblique engaged. And releasing down. 2 more times. External hip rotation. And lower. Now on this last one, lift up and stay here for a moment. The top leg starts to stretch out long. Can you feel that external hip rotation? And then bending the top knee in. And let's do 3 more. So I'm really feeling a lot of work in my gluteals as I do this. Hopefully you guys are feeling the same activation. And we're going to take 2 more, bottom oblique engaging, stretch through the foot, and in. 1 more time, stretch through the foot, and in, hold it, and then lower everything down, nicely done. Bring your knees up a little bit higher. Cradle the back of your neck. Top arm reaches forward. Now today we're going to do a chalk circle. So start by taking your arm up overhead. And then as your arm travels backwards, let your entire shoulder girdle, your rib cage, maybe your lumbar spine and pelvis, let them move with you. And then your arm comes forward again over your hips and over your knees. Let's draw 2 more circles in this direction. So you want to make it as big and luxurious as possible. But obviously, if something doesn't feel good, then maybe you need to make it a bit smaller, or maybe you need to even bend your elbow a little bit. That also helps. Change direction and let's do 3, going the other way, going over your hip first. And you still allow your body to follow your movement. And we're going to take 2 more. So this chalk circle is amazing for stretching open the front arm line of the body, but also for mobilizing the thoracic spine, which I think most of us need. And come all the way to the front. Stay here. Pick up your top leg, grab onto your foot. Now remember I said you might need a belt or a loop over your foot. You might want to use it here. Otherwise, hold onto your foot and then just gently pull your thigh backwards in space. Remember we did this the other day and I was talking to you about that connection to the lower abs. So you want to keep the top of the pelvis and then draw the thigh backwards. Holding it here. Few more moments. And then on your next breath, release and come all the way down. Roll onto your back. Knees bent, feet slightly separated. 1 pelvic curl. Rolling hips up. Coming up and pausing here for 3 breaths in and out. How does the right side feel after activating gluteals and opening hips? Has there been any effect for you? Take a breath in, and then start to ripple down through your spine, imprint, and release. Roll onto your right side. I'm just just going to turn around so that I don't have my back to you. So now you're lying on your right side, knees bent, fingertips light on the ground. Remember that activation of the bottom oblique. And we start with the clam. So top knee opens and releases down. 3 more. So guys, I've mentioned this before, my hips are quite tight. So I don't have this massive range of movement when I open my knee up. So if you've got a lot of range, then you can take your leg right up. If you're also tight like me, then please don't think that you've got to force it. It's more important that you find stability, keeping lumbar spine and pelvis stable. And now, lift both feet up, push up with the underneath foot as you do the climb, and releasing it down. 3 more. Energy through the crown of your head, obliques are engaged, and releasing down. 2 more. Lift, and lower. 1 more time, lift. Now we're going to stay here. Can you extend your top leg long? Stretch, and then bend the knee, and in you come. And again. Keep that external rotation like a ballerina. And release. 2 more times. Energy through your foot, keep that stability through the underneath oblique. And then, last one. Lovely, I can see that, looks good. Bend your knee, and then bring everything down. Good, bring your knees up a little bit higher, cradling the back of your neck, left arm forward as we move into the chalk circle. Sweeping your arm up overhead, opening up through the chest as you draw all the way behind yourself and then over your hip and over your knee. 2 more times going in this direction. Connecting your breath into your movement, however it feels good for you, but it basically helps you to not rush when you move. Take it the other way. Arm goes over your hip, sweeping your arm overhead and all the way to the front. Last one. And bringing it all the way to the front. Pick up that top knee. Remember to use the loop or the prop if you need. Holding onto foot or ankle. A little bit of a tilt of the pelvis as you draw the thigh backwards. Pausing here as you get that release down the front of the thigh, the quadricep, into the hip flexor. Taking one more deep breath in and out. And then exhale and release. Roll onto your back. Knees bent. One pelvic curl. Tilting hips. Rolling up. A little bit of a squeeze from the bum cheeks. Stay here. And now, how does the left side feel? Feeling the strength from the underside of your body and feeling the release on the top side of your body. Take a breath in. And slowly down you come. Imprinting into the lower back. And releasing here. Hug both knees up into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. And then put your hands behind your thighs. We're going to do our slow roll up. Start by moving your thighs away until body weight into your feet. So there's very little momentum, there's very little jarring action of the body. And then forehead to knee. And then reverse it. Start rolling back until your elbows are straight. Lighten the load of your feet. And then pour your body weight into your ribs, your shoulders. And then let your head settle and bring your knees towards you. We're going to do 3 more. Take your time. Let the backs of your thighs really push into your hands. So for anyone who doesn't like rolling like a ball, for example, or for anyone who really struggles with a roller, this is a lovely modification for both of those exercises. This is the last one, coming up into a seated position. Don't rush, take your time, we'll all meet at the top. Take a breath in, and then make your way up into a seated position. So I'm going to do a mirror image for you. So I want you to have your left foot in front first, bending your right leg to the side, getting your pelvis nice and comfortable. And we haven't done any side-to-side movements yet today. You guys know how much I love this natural movement of the spine. So let's do a few seaweeds here. Opening up the side body. Stretching out all those muscles around the ribs. All of those internal organs inside the ribs. And now, bringing your left hand to the ground, you're going to bend your elbow and come down onto your forearm. Okay, so get yourself into a comfortable position here, still with the knees bent. And then just open up that right arm. And then, as if you're going to thread the needle. Don't force it, just kind of see how far you want to go. And then again, reaching up. You can almost take that arm behind you to stretch the shoulder. And then threading the needle. And let's do one more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. And now we're going to settle here. So move your pelvis, move your shoulders to wherever you need. Let both forearms rest on the ground. Soften into the back of your neck. Feel free to close your eyes as we just settle here for a moment and breathe. Feeling that wonderful rotation of the spine, the opening across the back body. One more breath in and out. And then unfold yourself. Make your way all the way upright. And then pivot over to the other side. So now you're going to have your right shin in the front, left shin to the side. Figure out your seat. And then a little bit of seaweed. Side to side. Remember, there's no right or wrong pace or rhythm for this, or rate. Feeling that lovely movement of the diaphragm, the lungs, and your heart. And this is going to be our last one. Stretching over, and then stay here with your right hand to the ground, and you're going to bring yourself down onto that forearm. Make any adjustments that you need with your legs. Left arm reaches up and back, And then coming into a thread the needle. Keep it easy on this first one because this is part of exploring the range, refining your movement, and giving yourself time to notice the response of your own body, maybe the reaction of your own body. Reach back, and now on this third one, we're going to settle here. So both forearms are connected to the ground. You might have to move your pelvis and your legs, relaxing into the back of the neck, and just breathe into this twist. Noticing the response of your lower back. Noticing the response of your neck and shoulders. And then on your next breath, unwind yourself, coming all the way up. And now, bring your legs out into a straddle. So you might need to sit on a little bit of a cushion. I want you to actually have both your knees bent for a second with your toes lifted up like this. And then put your hands to the insides of your knees. So you're actually supporting the inside of the back of your knees here. So again, I'm doing a mirror image of you. So your right leg, I want you to stretch it out and then bend it back up again. And now the left leg. Stretch and bend. And again, if you don't have yourself on a slippery surface, then you might want to put like a towel or even a little pillow underneath the heel of your foot so that it can slide. Keeping your spine nice and upright. So my sit bones are still firmly grounded as I do this movement on my legs. One more time with that left leg. And now, both legs. You knew this was coming. Both legs. Stretch and bend. Two more times. Stretch and bend. One more time, stretch. Now you can stay here. If you need to give yourself additional support, then you just move your hands behind your back. Or you keep holding here, or you bring your hands forward. It's not about taking your head to the ground. That's a collapsed feeling. It's about lengthening and taking your heart forward. So make sure that your hands are supporting you wherever you are. If you're one of those really flexible people, I know some of you are really flexible, you might even be able to take the forearms down, but make sure that you're not straining into it. Just allow yourself to soften into it almost. Take a look at your feet quickly. Make sure that your toes haven't rolled in like this. Make sure that your toes are still pointing up towards the sky. We're staying here for just a few more seconds. It's the most lovely release for the inner thigh if you're tight in the hamstrings, or maybe you're feeling it in the lower back. So for those of you that have done yin yoga before, these are amazing for connecting into all those meridians around the kidneys and the bladder. Take a breath in, and then exhale. Start bringing yourself all the way upright. Now put your hands behind your knees. Help yourself. Bring your legs together. Lift your feet up. Tuck yourself into a tight little ball shape. And you can balance here. We're not going to roll. We're just balancing. And if you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes as well. Nice, easy inhale. And then exhale, placing your feet all the way down. So come to all fours here. And we're just going to go into a little bit of a cat stretch to get your knees and your wrists in a happy place. And on your next breath, rounding your spine up towards the sky. And then lengthening through the spine. And you can maybe move a rounding, lifting your belly button up, and then lengthening the spine, lifting tail, heart, and eye line. Let's take 3 more. One more time. And this time, just come back to a lengthened, neutral position and hold it here. Tuck your toes under as best you can. And with a lengthened spine, just move your hips back until you feel a stretch on the soles of the feet, maybe around the knuckles of the toes, and then let yourself come forward again. And again, moving back. So, I know a lot of people have knee issues as well. So just find the range where your body feels good with it. One more. Stretching the soles of the feet. And then releasing forward and letting your feet relax all the way out. Now, let's turn our hands backwards. So I can bring my fingers pretty much all the way around to face me, but if you have to keep your fingers pointing a bit to the side, then that's absolutely fine. If you want to ease up this carpal tunnel release, then you bring your shoulders a little forward. If you want to increase this release around the front wrist, you move your body weight a little bit backwards. So find the stretch, and then again, just notice on your own body if there's any discrepancy between your right and your left sides. Oftentimes, if you're right-handed, you might feel it more intensely on the right and vice versa. But quite frankly, so many people now don't actually write. We're all typing, and it's pretty symmetrical, so you may not actually notice a big difference. And then releasing shoulders forward. Take your time as you bring your fingers all the way back around to the front. And we're going to be going into a downward facing dog. So spread your fingers out, tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, and then just move your hips up and back. So straighten your elbows, lengthen your spine, and bend your knees. And then start to pedal the heels down one at a time. So our focus for our session today has been stretching and releasing. So this is now the stretch and release for the Achilles tendon and the calf muscles. You might be feeling it somewhere else as well, so it just indicates where you're tight. And then reach both heels towards the ground. Stay here for a moment. And now we're going to go into that pigeon stretch, that deep gluteal stretch. So lift your leg up just a little bit, and then bring your shin down to the ground with your right knee behind your right wrist. So you're resting here, you're not holding it. Pivot your foot diagonally across, and then start to walk yourself back until you feel that you have stretching that right hip. If you need to put a pillow under your bum, go for it. Bring your forearms all the way down, and then resting your head down. We're just going to stay here for 10 breaths in and out, making any adjustments that you need for yourself, and then see if you can just settle into this shape. And you should be feeling a little bit of discomfort. And that's where the shift happens, is pushing those boundaries of comfort into discomfort. But it shouldn't be painful. There's a difference between the two. And then connecting into each inhale and each exhale to allow yourself the experience of surrendering into that discomfort. Taking one more breath in and out. And in your own time, start to make your way onto your hands, tucking your back toes under, lifting the knee, the thigh, bringing the weight of your pelvis up, and then slide that right leg back and transition once again to your downward facing dog. Pedaling through the heels and feeling the circulation moving past that right knee and the right hip again. You might felt a little bit of a constriction in the blood flow when you did the pigeon stretch. Press both heels down, and now the left leg, lift the left foot up, bring your left knee behind your wrist and put your shin onto the floor. Pivot your foot diagonally across and then bring yourself back. Make sure your knee is okay. Bringing arms and hands to the front, setting your head down. Giving yourself any props and support that you need. And 10 breaths. Notice if you're having any conversations with yourself. And oftentimes we go into discomfort and then those conversations start up. So connect into your breath. And you may or may not be able to stop the conversation. If you can, that's wonderful. But the simple act of bringing your awareness back to your breath gives you the opportunity to just stay in the space for a few more moments. And have an experience of that discomfort and to actually know that you're fine. You don't have to move away from it. So in a lot of ways, it's a lovely little analogy. It's this little micro moment that sort of represents the macro moment of our lives, right? Taking one more breath in and out. Making your way up onto your hands. We're going to do a slightly different transition now. So you're still going to tuck the back toes under. You're still going to lift up the knee and the thigh, lifting your hips up, but now move your hands towards your left so you can roll onto the left side and swing your feet around in front of you. And then just give your legs a little bit of a shake, allowing the circulation to move all the way down your legs again, especially on that left side after that pigeon pose. And we're going to finish the same way that we started. So knees bent, adjust your position, and then resting forearms on top of the knees. Now what I would like you to try is the arm that you naturally put on top, which is probably how you started. Can you swap? Put the other arm on top. It's probably going to feel a little bit odd. And then resting head down, getting your ankles and your feet into a comfortable space. Feel free to close your eyes. And then, once again, bringing your awareness to your breath. Feeling that beautiful expansion and release across the back of your body. Ribs up to your neck and shoulders. Ribs down into your lower back and into your pelvis. Enjoying this for just a few more moments. If your eyes are closed, you can blink them open. Unravel your spine, coming all the way upright. And once again, just like we started, put your hands just around the fronts of your knees. Long spine as we just do a little bit of hinging backwards and forwards. Finding that balance and that connection between the front body and the back body. Both of them essential to your core and to your stability. Bring yourself upright, hold it here. Releasing your hands with the palms facing upwards. We inhale, reaching up, connecting fingertips to their partners at the top. Long exhale through your mouth as you open arms, creating a beautiful space for yourself for the rest of your day. Rolling your shoulders back and around. Fabulous job, guys. I hope you feel good with everything that we did. Let me just come and turn on the microphone if anybody has any comments or questions. Great. Okay. Is everybody in one piece? I think I was looking at, what was I looking at there, Edith? Beautiful blue.
Very nice. Thanks, Renee.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Awesome.
See you tomorrow in the studio.
I'm going to be in studio. I will see you here.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a lovely day. Huh? Yes.
Enjoy your Sunday.
Thanks, Renee. I feel lucky.
Thank you, Renee.
Fantastic. You know what? You know what's so interesting as well, Ali, is that we put so much emphasis on abdominals and that flexion. I sometimes feel like my lower back just needs that little bit of, release. So we didn't do a lot of core work today, like the classic core work, but that emphasis just on finding that balance. And it just makes me feel lighter as well, So I'm glad you're having that experience.
That Feldenkrais was amazing. Completely changed how I was lying, completely changed how I was flexing. It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so next time you try that, the actual Feldenkrais, the full exercise that we do, is you start off with this big movement, and then you make it half the size, and then you make it even smaller, and then you make it so small that somebody can't see it, but you can feel it. So it's refining it the whole time, and then you go back and you do your arm movement, arms open and close, or scissors, and I mean, it's amazing. So try that with yourself or with your clients, where you make it smaller, smaller, smaller. It's that refining of the movement, and I mean, it just opens up everything around the thoracic spine.
It was brilliant. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure. And Kerry, you're all good?
Yes, thank you. That was really good, actually. I do.
Lovely to see you on a Sunday.
It's quite early for me on a Sunday.
I know, I'm very impressed.
Going walking now. Going walking. Thank you.
Awesome. And lovely to see you as always, Fina.
Thank you. It was a beautiful class. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Well, just a heads up, we will be working quite hard tomorrow.
Thanks, Rin.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.